Welcome to the Guitar Department. I'm your host, Joe Alton. On this episode, we're going to talk about how to play Sunshine of Your Love by Cream. We're going to cover part 6 of our Caged System series, the A form, this week. Our special guest, Allegra Hernandez, has our lick of the week, and in the tone zone, we're going to be talking about the EHX Micro Qtron envelope follower. Welcome to the Guitar Department. The song Sunshine of Your Love by Cream features a classic blues scale lick in the key of D minor. What we're going to do is we're going to start on the 12th fret of the D string, and we're going to play 12, 12, and then 10, and then back to 12. And I do this with my 3rd finger on the 12th fret, and if you want, you can plant your pointer finger on the 10th fret, so all you have to do is lift the 3rd finger and then replace it when the time comes. Then we're going to move to the 5th string, and we're going to play 12, 11, 10. And there's 2 ways to do this. The way I just did it is 1 finger per fret, 3rd finger, 2nd finger on 11, and then 1st finger on 10. Another way to do it, and this will make sense in context, is to just use your 3rd finger on all 3 notes. And the reason that you might do that is that the next 3 notes start on the top string, the 6th string, with the 3rd finger on 10, pointer finger on 8, and then back to that 3rd finger on the 6th string on 10. So if you use your 3rd finger, that changes the position that your hand is in for you. If you do 1 finger per fret, then you have to shift positions before you play that 10. And both are acceptable. I believe Eric Clapton does it with the shift. But both are perfectly acceptable. So here's the entire lick. And then that repeats. Notice that I sort of slid into that 10. That's something you can do once you've gotten the hang of the lick, or you cannot do it. It's very subtle, so it's not going to make a huge difference. What happens next, though, levels up the difficulty quite a bit. Now, the way Eric Clapton plays this, I managed to pull up a few videos from a few different eras of him playing it, and he does it in kind of what I would usually refer to as a Hendrix style, with your thumb wrapped over top, grabbing the 10th fret of the 6th string there, the ring finger 2 strings down on the 4th string, on the octave of the D, also the 3rd finger muting the A string in between, so that when you strum it doesn't ring out. 2nd finger on the 11th fret of the 3rd string, and pointer finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. This gives you a standard D major chord. And so when you strum it, you only hear those 4 strings, the 6th string, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. And then the whole shape moves back 2 frets, and then back up 2 frets. So you carry the same rhythm as you do with those first, but now it's a whole chord, like that. Now, if you're like me, my hands are actually a little bit too small for that. So reaching my thumb around and grabbing these 3 notes, I can do it, but it's not the most comfortable thing. So what I do instead is I just play these 3 notes, the 3rd finger on 12, 2nd finger on 11, pointer finger on 10, and let the bass player take care of the bass note. In context with a band, it won't make a huge difference, but if you want to play it the way Clapton does it, you definitely have to have that that thumb wrapped around. From there, the lick becomes similar to the first 2 times that we do it. You go up to the 12th fret, 11th, and 10th fret, all on the A string. And then he does a variation here. You can either go down and play the ending of the lick the same way we did in the intro, or what he does in the recording, and a lot of times live, he switches it up and does several different things. But in the recording, he'll play something like that. And that was the 3rd finger on 12, to the pointer finger across the 10th fret on the 3rd and 2nd string, and then down to that 12th fret on the 4th string again. Another one that he uses quite a bit is just flattening across the 12th fret and playing those two 12s on the second and third strings, pointer finger on the 10th fret, and then back to that 12th fret on the 4th string. That way, it would sound like this. So that was the two variations. And you can see they're both kind of acceptable, and if you watch a recording of him doing it live, you'll notice that he switches it up and does several different versions of the same lick there. So we do that a couple of times, and then the lyrics start. And once the lyrics start, we've officially exited the intro and started the verse section of the song. And the verse section starts off exactly the same way. We have 4 of those in a row, and again, that's once the lyrics start. So we also have 2 prior to that as a part of the intro. So 6 times total with that riff the first time, but every time we go through the verse itself, it's 4 times in a row. And then what happens is we switch up the chords from being D and C to being G and F. And when I first learned this, I would just move it down a string and flatten out and play it as a sort of an A-form bar chord. But upon watching videos, I noticed that he actually moves the entire shape down to the 3rd fret and plays the G in root position with the root on the 6th string. And what that does is it puts the rest of the lick on the pointer finger, and then you slide up from the 5, from the 3 to the 5, excuse me, and then put your pointer on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. And that happens twice in a row. And that's what happens next, is he goes back from the 3rd and 1st frets, the G and the F chord, back up to the D and the C chord, where we started the whole lick off. And that carries us through our entire verse section of the song. Then we have our chorus section. And the chorus section of this song is pretty straightforward. We're going to hit an A power chord with that sort of rhythm, sort of a 1, 2, and 3. Like that, 1, 2, and 3. 3, 4, and then to a C power chord, just one hit, and up to a G power chord. And then back to A. That whole cycle repeats 3 times. 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. And then the 4th time, you just linger on the A chord. Now, again, when I originally learned this, it was just 8 downstrokes. But if you listen closely, he adds a couple more upstrokes and downstrokes in the mix, but it is that same amount of time, just 8 solid downbeats, 2 measures of 4. So that's a little closer to how he actually plays it. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and then immediately back up. Now it's time for part 6 of our Cage System series. And this time we're going to be talking about the A form. Now, to briefly recap what the cage system actually is, it's named after the 5 open chords that spell out the word caged: C, A, G, E, and D. And the idea is that you take each one of those chords, move them up 1 fret, and bring the zeros within the open chord with you. So you have to refinger, in this case, an A chord so that your pointer finger is free. And when you move it up a fret, you flatten out your pointer finger across the 1st fret so that the zeros become 1s. And that gives you a movable pattern. And with that pattern, you can play all the major chords all the way up until you run out of room. And today, we're going to discuss the A form. And we've already started with that A chord just on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings on the 2nd fret, and then the A string is open and the E string is open. And what we're going to do is refinger that so that our ring finger, pinky, and middle finger are carrying all of the 2s, the E, A, and C sharp, and then the A string and the E string are still open. And then when we move that up a fret, this is actually one of the more difficult shapes for me to play because my 1st finger doesn't like the stretch here in the 1st fret. But that gives us a B flat chord. And once we have the B flat chord, again, we have a movable shape that doesn't have any open strings, so we can move it to wherever we need it to be moved. And it's a B flat chord because this note on the 1st fret of the A string is a B flat. So whatever note you're on, if you're on D, that shape makes a D chord. So once you learn the notes on the A string, this becomes a very useful pattern. But it doesn't stop there. We're going to take that pattern, and in this case I'm going to move it up a couple frets just to give myself a little room for notes in all directions. But we're going to take this shape and we're going to turn it into a pentatonic scale first. So what we have here is a root, a 5th, back to the root, then the major 3rd, and then the 5th again. So we're playing 5 strings, but we actually only have 3 notes. And so starting on this root, the next note would be the 2nd, or in this case, since we're in C, it would be a D. And then to move down a string to the 4th string, we would go to the 3rd, which in this case is E. And then your pinky will take the 5th fret. So 3rd fret, 5th fret, 2nd fret, 5th fret. And then we're going to do the same thing on the next string. 2nd fret to 5th fret. That would be the 6th of the chord and then the octave. And then we're going to move up a fret, and our last 2 strings are going to be 3 and 5. And now, the thing we didn't cover is if you go in the other direction, you also get 3rd fret and 5th fret on the E string. Now, both of our E strings have the same notes on them because logically, since they're both E strings, whatever you do to the top string, you can do to the bottom string. So, our entire pattern for the pentatonic pattern in the cage system in the A form, starting on the 3rd fret, will give us 3, 5, 3, 5 again, then back a fret to the 2nd fret, up to 5, down again to 2nd fret, up to 5, and then down to 3 again, 5 again, and then 3 and 5 on the E string. And this is one of the more common pentatonic patterns. If you use this, the top string 5th fret in this case, as your root, that gives you the minor pentatonic. And you might notice that that also connects really well to the G form. Which is the more commonly used, probably the most commonly used pentatonic scale on the guitar. So this one's really useful in connecting back or lower in range from our most common pattern. And it gives us a nice, easy to use pentatonic pattern. But again, we're not going to stop there. What we're going to do next is fill in the blanks to make it a diatonic scale. So, starting on this 3rd fret, this G, keeping in mind that our root is actually a string down on the C, we're going to play 3, 5, or G and A. And then on the 5th string, it will be 2, 3, and 5, excuse me, B, C, and D. Down another string, it'll be 2, 4, or 2, 3, and 5 again. In this case, it'll be E, F, and G. Down another string will give us the A, the B, and our octave of C, which again is our root. So there's our octave. And at that point, we're going to shift up a fret. Our pointer finger is going to take the 3rd fret, and we're going to play D, E, and F, or 3, 5, and 6. And then on the last string, our 1st string, excuse me, we're going to go pointer finger on 3 on the G, and then ring finger on the A. So again, our root will be on the 5th string and on the 3rd string, the 5th fret. 5th string, 3rd fret, and 3rd string, 5th fret. And that gives us a really useful major scale pattern, starting with our middle finger on the C on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And then if you wanted to complete it, you'd have to shift up to the G form. And that's how you turn the A form in the cage system into a pentatonic scale and a diatonic scale. Coming up next, we're going to have our guest lick of the week, and we're going to welcome Allegra Hernandez.
Hello everyone, my name is Allegra Hernandez, and I'm super excited to be on the guitar department today, featuring in Lick of the Week. So today I'm going to be demonstrating and teaching you all how to play a lick from one of my original songs called Goldmine, which is off of my EP, Pearl EP, and you can find that on almost all major streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, Bandcamp. I'm really excited to share this with everyone. So here's the lick at full speed. Okay, that's the lick, and that occurs in the intro and interludes of this song. First part of the song, we're going to play an inside 3-string voicing, an F major 7 chord. This is rooted on the D string, 3rd fret. So there's an F, then I play a C, G string, 3rd fret, and then I play an E, B string, 5th fret, excuse me. So it kind of looks like a power chord shape, but it's not quite a power chord with that. And I'm using some hybrid picking here. So I pick that low note F with my pick, but then I use fingers 2 and 3 in my right hand to pluck those notes together. So I'm gonna play it like on beats 1 and 2, 1, 2, and. Then on the and of 3, I'm gonna move from this F major 7 voicing to, this is an A minor 6. So this chord here, my 3rd finger is on the D string 7th fret. This is my A. And then I'm playing with my index finger, I'm playing the 5th fret on the G string, which is the minor 3rd. My pinky is on the 8th fret B string, which is your minor 6th, and then, or the 6, I should say, not minor 6. And then my 1st finger is barred here. But when I switch from this chord, my F to my A, I'm still maintaining that hybrid picking, those inside voicings. So I hit each chord twice with hybrid picking, 1, 2, and. I'm going to highlight the chord arpeggios that you hear here. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, something like that. Okay, once I get out of that, these voicings, I will play some bar chords now. D minor bar chord at the E string 10th fret, E position, caged form E position. I'll do 2 downstrokes on that. 1. Then I will mute my strings and do down, up, down. Then I'll go to a C major bar chord. Up, up, down, up, down. So that's the first part of the lick. Then the lead guitar comes in. So the lead guitar part is really awesome when it's layered on top of that because it kind of dances around that rhythm part. And the bass line is doing its own thing, focusing on root notes. For the lead guitar part, I'm going to play it at full speed once. So this section I'm starting with an F power chord that you actually use in Smells Like Teen Spirit, okay? So 1st fret on my E string, and I'm arpeggiating that. I'm gonna take my pinky, just do a big slide up to that, from that 3rd fret to the 7th fret. I slide into that. Then I play a minor 3rd dyad, A minor. So I'm going from that 7th fret D string to my 5th fret on the G string. That's a minor 3rd in A. There's my first part. The next chord I'm going to play is a D minor 11. It's basically 2 power chords stacked on top of each other. I'm playing a G power chord from like here on the 4th string or the D string. G, so fret 5 and 7. G and D strings with fingers 1 and 3. Then I go to the B string 6th fret with my middle finger, which that is an F, and then a C. So you have G, D, F, C. And in the context of the key of this song, I'm going to consider this a D minor 11 with my root note being here. And then I have one more part to demonstrate. This is the second half of that lead part. I'm going to play a B flat add 9 chord. E string 6th fret on B flat, power chord. Then I play my A string 8th fret, 6, 8, and then D string 10th fret with my pinky. Once you play this voicing, you're going to slide from that 10th fret to the 12th fret on the D string. So I'm sliding into that note. Then I go to a D minor dyad, kind of what we did here. Next, I have my last part of the lick, and it's pretty much highlighting, it's a riff in A minor, it's highlighting an A minor 9 chord. Sounds like this. That is the G string. I'm going 10, 12, slide to 14. My second finger is on the B string 13th fret. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my high E string and do a hammer-on pull-off, 12, 13, 12, and then go back to my B string 13th fret, and then to D string or G string 14th fret. So sectioning this out, I have F, D, minor 11, B flat, D, A minor 9, and that layers on top of this. it's really fun. If you have a looper pedal at home, you can stack these riffs on top of each other, and it sounds really cool, and it sounds like magic sparkles happening. So cool. That's how you play the intro of Goldmine.
And now it's time for us to enter the tone zone, and we're going to start with this beautiful Player Series Fender Stratocaster that I borrowed from the shop here at Riemann Music. Man, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? We got it set to the neck pickup, but we're going to adjust that here in a little bit. And of course, we're playing through our Fender Blues Junior amp like we have been the past few episodes. And then our pedal of the week is the EHX Electro-Harmonix Micro Qtron Envelope Follower. Now, there's a lot of different versions of this. This is the Micro Qtron, there's the standard size Qtron, and there's a handful of others. But envelope followers are really cool, and I grabbed this one because it sort of matches with the sort of psychedelic 60s sound that you get from Cream, even though it wasn't used in the song we taught earlier today. So we clicked it on. Here's what it does. You can see it just sort of takes your EQ and it messes with it a little bit. It has what they call an envelope filter, sort of an auto wah effect. So if I turn that off, you can see I've got it set for a little bit of boost there too. We click it back on. You notice that I've switched to my bridge pickup now. That gives me a little bit more high end. It's good for funk music too. Kind of a cool pedal, and it's a lot of fun to mess with. There's a lot of stuff you can mess with within it too. Switching it to the bridge pickup, or to the neck pickup there. The Micro Qtron from EHX Envelope Follower, that is our pedal of the week. All right, well, thank you for tuning in to the Guitar Department. I want to thank Riemann Music for giving us a place to shoot this show. I want to thank our producer, Bryce Jarrett, and be sure to join us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Guitar Department to check out all the videos we have. I also want to thank the amazing Allegra Hernandez for being here and giving us our lick of the week. And now here is a 12-bar blues with Allegra Hernandez.